God has created many things in our creation that can be used for good or evil. So you go back to the very creation, God's the one that created grapes, knowing that they could be used for good or evil, right? God created sex, knowing that it was good, but knowing that it could also be used for evil. God created rocks, knowing that eventually someone was going to pick a rock up and throw it at somebody else, right? So God does not take responsibility for the good things that he has created that man has turned around and abused. Okay? So by Jesus doing this miracle, he's not giving the green light to drunkenness. So you say, Pastor Tim, what does the Bible say about drunkenness? I'm so glad you asked. Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 18 makes it pretty clear. Do not get drunk on wine. Is there any ambiguity there? Do not get drunk on wine, which leads to debauchery. Instead, be filled with the Holy Spirit. Do not get drunk on wine, which leads to debauchery. Now, I've heard people say over the years, I've read a lot of different articles from people who believe that in Bible times, the wine that they had wasn't alcoholic wine, it was more like grape juice. Problem with that is verses like this don't make too much sense, if that's the case, right? Because I don't know how much grape juice you would have to drink to get drunk, but I'm pretty sure you'd be dead before you got drunk. Okay? So, this verse is clearly talking about alcohol, which it says that drinking too much alcohol leads people to doing all kinds of stupid things. It leads to debauchery. So I've been a pastor for almost 40 years now, and in all that time, I've never had anyone tell me, Pastor Tim, you know, it was those times of my life that I had too much to drink that I made some of the best decisions of my life. Just never happened. So it leads to debauchery. Saying stupid things, doing stupid things, drunk driving, fighting, breakups, divorces, abuse. Listen, I don't have enough time this morning to get into a whole debate about Christians drinking or not drinking, but I want to make this point very clear that drinking to the point of drunkenness is clearly off the table for followers of Jesus. It is. Yeah. And if you're thinking to yourself on a regular basis, wow, I could really use a drink, that should be a red flag, right? If you think it's something you need, if we're taking our stresses and hurts and frustrations and turning to alcohol instead of turning to Jesus, then there's something wrong. So that's why Paul says don't get drunk with wine, but he says here's the better alternative, get filled with the Holy Spirit. Be filled with the Spirit. Take God those frustrations. Take God, the anger and the angst in your life. Take those things to God and trust Jesus with these things. So this is the point, and I think this is the point of this miracle. What Jesus has to offer us is much, much better than anything the world has to offer.